Hello and welcome back to the A&R Podcast. I'm your co-host Ryan.
And I'm your other co-host, Addison.
And today we are reviewing Cursed on Netflix. Cursed follows a teenage sorceress, Nimue, who joins forces with a young charming mercenary, Arthur, in a mission to save her people, which is an understatement of what this show is about, but that's what the Google definition is. So my definition would be, it follows a young sorceress, Nimue, as she journeys through the lands of unknown, because I don't think they ever say it, to return a sword of power to Merlin the magician. I think that's a better example of what the story is about.
I believe they said that it takes place in England, because they're like...
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
At some point they said England, and I'm like, oh, it takes place in our world.
Yeah, like I knew that. I don't think it takes place in England, though. They said England because they were talking about the Pope.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean...
But yeah, let's hop right into it. One thing that I'd like to say for the beginning, so the show is TVMA.
Yeah.
That's because of like the blood, the gore, and the smoking. Didn't really see smoking, but personally for me, I feel like it should have been TV-14 because I feel like they could have toned back some of the violence. It's very gruesome. Like they must have gone to the special effects people and be like, yeah, just throw in as much CGI blood as you want. It's all good. Like there were stuff like where one of the paladins got like stabbed through the mouth with a tree branch. I was like, whoa. Like you didn't have to show that, we get it. Like they're gonna die. So I feel like this could have been more TV 14 format.
I guess, yeah. You're reminding me, like, of, well, obviously a lot of the torturing was... There wasn't that much torturing, but the torturing was kind of gruesome. That one part where it was the fisherman and he had somebody in a hole.
Oh, yeah, and then he just snuffed out the hole. That was dark.
It was very dark.
Mm-hmm. I feel like... So, as I kept watching the episodes, I was trying to think, okay, what would you kind of say the show is like? So, for the first 7 episodes, more like 6, I got very, like, Hobbit meets Game of Thrones. But then 7 through 10...
either of those.
It's okay. Hopefully you've watched this. You must have. I think we watched this together. 7 through 10 gave me Hobbit meets Game of Thrones meets Star Wars. And I even have an analogy for the Star Wars one. It really picked up in, I forget if it's episode 6 or 7. You learn that Nimue's dad is Merlin.
Yeah.
So the big Star Wars vibes that I kind of got were, so our main character doesn't want to follow their destiny. That's very Star Wars-y kind of. But they also are like the hope for the rebellion, which is all about Star Wars. Got the main character with an evil father, obviously, very Star Wars-y.
Obviously.
It's a mini rebellion versus an empire. Well, that's like kind of like one of the things. There's many empires, but that's kind of why I said it was like, in a sense, Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings, because I'll talk about that right after I get to my last Star Wars thing. So I made the comparison of Nimue is like Han Solo, Morgana is like Luke Skywalker, and Arthur is like Leia, because Arthur likes Nimue, Morgana and Arthur are brother-sister. I don't know, that's what I was kind of thinking. And then episode 8, when they're prepping for the final battle, Game of Thrones season 8 meets Battle of Endor from Star Wars. Because they were like all prepping like to fight, and it was like, for example, there was like the rebellion, which is like the Fae, versus the Paladins, but then there's also the Pendragons, and the Red Spear, and the Cumbers. So that's why I kind of got like Game of Thrones, because there were giant armies facing off each other.
Yeah.
Another thing about the show, I really liked, I guess, the costumes. I guess it's about costumes and makeup.
I loved the costumes and the props. And oh my gosh.
They were really good.
They were all so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
all the makeup with like, because some of the characters like had markings on them. I thought that was
Yeah.
so cool to see. It was
Oh
really
yeah.
neat. You knew that they were symbols, but you didn't know what they were, but like you could just kind of guess it was like from their tribe or whatever. So I
Mhm.
really like that. And then also just like in the makeup in general of like all the like the blood and like the cuts, especially when
Yeah.
you see the weeping monk take off his like
Oh my
hoodie thing and you
gosh.
see his back. I was like, ooh, the
That was
prop people must have
insane.
woke up way too early for this.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
they definitely really did like cuts and scars very well.
that was really good. And then just in general, all the costumes that were worn were very good. I kind of liked my two favorite. Well, I want there were two, but there were also one because it was very confusing. Uh, how the Cumber and the Red Spear people dressed because they dress very similar.
Red Spear?
Yeah,
Wait, the Red Spear?
yeah. The red.
The Paladins?
No. The Red
No.
Spear. Yeah. See, that was a
Okay.
little confusing with the show. They had a lot of they had a lot of groups, and they didn't really explain them. So like I was writing it all down because I kind of got in episode 10. So the final
Mhm.
battle is the Fae versus the Cumber on the beach.
Yes.
But then the Fae have the Red Spear on their side because the Red
Oh,
Spear was
okay.
pissed off at the Paladins because the Paladins would steal from them. So that made the Red Spear angry. And the
Yeah.
Cumber were fighting with the Paladins because they had a deal with Nimue and the Sword of Power. Well, the Pendragons were for and against the Red Spear at the same time. So that I don't know. I feel
Okay.
like they should have made like I don't want to say more episodes. I just feel like because there were some parts in the show that just kind of felt like it was fluff, and I feel like
I
they could
guess
have
so.
done that to like examine more of like these different groups. Like the groups that you really like learn a lot about is the Paladins, obviously, and they're obviously Christians,
Yeah.
which
Which is interesting.
yeah, like this show was really like teaching you, yeah, Christians are evil, especially
Yeah.
because they were like, um, they said something along the lines of, "This is nothing like Jerusalem. This is better," in reference to the Crusades, where Christians went to invade Jerusalem and areas around it to kill Muslim people because it's the Holy Land and they believe that they deserve to own it because
I
that's where
know.
Jesus was. And I'm just like, but didn't Jesus say no killing? But
I
here we
know. I'm like
are.
thinking the what? Wait, what? The Ten Commandments. Literally, thou
Yeah.
shalt not kill. Why are they like God wants us to kill? What?
Mhm.
Does God want you to kill? Also, like they
Yeah.
low-key crucified so many people.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that
isn't
was
that?
possibly another reason why I was TVMA. Because just seeing all those people get lit up on the crosses,
Yeah.
obviously it's not as bad as Jesus where he got like nailed to the cross. They were like tied
Mhm.
up and they weren't hanging. They actually like stood on a mini platform on the cross while they got
Mhm.
burned, but still like. And then they also had Salem witch trial esque things where they would burn Faye,
Yeah.
which I was just
Oh.
uh,
Oh, that
like
scene toward the beginning where that poor Faye was like trying to fly away, and I think it was the monk like slashed him. Like
mhm,
that was so sad. The poor Faye.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
gosh. Speaking of like how you were saying the vibes you got from it, like what else you connect it to,
Mhm.
um, I personally like once I saw the Red Paladins, I was like, oh my gosh, this is just like 21 Pilots Trench. I mean, yes, that is a music album, but there's a world that was created alongside of it, and there's these people in these red robes. There's 9 of them, and there are the bishops, which like represent the dark sides of ourselves or whatever. But like even like the scenery looks so much like Trench or Dima, the world. And
Mhm.
yeah.
What I really didn't like, I kind of already said this about like the explanation things. They have
Mhm.
so many things in here, and they kind of don't explain it. a few of the things that I got, even from episode 1. So I get their view of witches. They don't like that because Catholicism. So that's
Yeah.
understandable because the Salem witch trials and Catholicism like duke it out because they like Jesus is the one true God. And then also it
Yeah.
seems the Fae are whatever, like when you believe in more
Polytheistic?
than one God, because like Pam,
Yeah.
she would always be like, oh my gods, or my
Yeah.
gods. So like obviously they believe in more than one God, so I understood
But it
that cleansing.
felt like there
But
was
I didn't,
evidence for more gods too.
yeah, with the dark magic bear thing, which I do want to
Yeah.
talk about because I think that and Widow, like,
Mhm.
actually, I'll talk about that more when we get in depth with our characters. But here are the things that they did not give explanations for, which they really should have. How the magic works, because
Yeah.
like they kind of explain like, oh, it's emotion, but like,
I mean,
how does
okay.
one get it? Because it seems like every phase is magical, but not. So that was a little confusing.
I personally, like, throughout this whole thing, I was like, this is the Dungeons and Dragons. This has so many vibes from that. And I'm like thinking, this could literally be a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Um, so in my brain, I just, Nimue was like, oh yeah, like, I'm too tired. I can't just do it again. I'm like, oh, you ran out of spell slots. How sad. So that was my explanation.
Mhm.
In my head, but that's probably not the
Yeah.
case.
Um, when they introduced Cumber the King, should have explained more on that, cause I didn't get that.
Yeah, yeah. I kind
Um,
of just anything about the kings.
yeah,
I didn't get it.
like Uther was the only king that you got like a backstory on, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that the Green Knight, aka Gawain, they should so obviously Nimue and Gawain have history. From what it seemed like they used to date, but then Gawain said that he left when she was a kid. So
I
I'm like,
know.
okay, did you not date? But why y'all like giving each other the look, you know?
I
So
know it was like so obvious this was an ex-lover, but like no.
yeah, that would be
Um,
really gross if it was. Because
maybe
so
he said that she was like a little sister, like he was like a big brother or something like that. So
yeah, and it has to be recent because so Squirrel, I don't know how
yeah,
old that kid is. He looked like he was 10 or something.
yeah, like
So
9, 10,
Gawain
12.
knew who Squirrel was. So like he kind of knew. So like couldn't have been that long ago.
Maybe,
And Nimue seems like she's around 17, 18, 19 years old, something around there.
maybe, um, it was like her parents were gonna marry her off to him, like once she was old enough to marry off, something like that, because, you know,
Yeah,
it seemed like arranged marriages were normal.
possibly. But if that were true, I feel like they should like dive, I guess, a little more into that
Yeah,
because
like
they were kind of scratching
actually
the surface.
say.
And then kind of more with the magic, but more of with the sword of power. They should have explained more of the lore behind it, because they keep saying,
Yeah,
"Oh, it was forged in the fire of the Fae." But from what it seems, okay, yeah, it was forged in the fire of the Fae, but it was also forged with like dark magic or like from a dark lord or what they call
yeah.
shadow lords, I think they were called.
I
So I
was
feel like there
looking.
should have been a little more explanation because I get what they're doing, and that's why I kind of compared it to um, Game of Thrones. They're setting up this very big world with lots of
Yeah,
lore and stuff, but where they fail and Game of Thrones did well was they took their time with building up the lore. These people are kind of just like being like, "Well, here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go," and it's like, yeah,
yeah. I did look up like how because people who study Wicca
mhm,
sometimes work with Fae, and so I was like, well, I want to look into what those Fae are like, and it seemed like what they were saying was that the Fae are like they work on their whims, like they are more like animals, do whatever they want, but then their magic is wild magic, so maybe that's why it's like partially dark, because their magic can be both good and bad. It's just kind of like whatever.
See, like, but if that's true, then why is Nimue the only one who's seen as like a dark spirit in a sense? Like, I
Yeah.
understand that she was clawed by the bear who was possessed by a shadow master, whatever. So, like, I kind of get that.
That is
But yeah,
really weird.
here's one thing that I did like though. I love the transitions. The transitions were so cool in my opinion, to like
Yeah.
have it go from like real life to just like a very mystical kind of artsy thing. And then you would see
Yeah.
that. I thought that was always very neat.
Yeah, and the music that went along with that was
Hmm.
so good, like really
Yeah.
folklory.
And same with the intro sequence. Like, so I only watched it once. I just watched it for the first episode because I just wanted to see what it looked like. I really liked that as well.
Yeah.
I think the art style on this is very good, and it's very reminiscent of kind of like their era, which is
Yeah.
good that it goes along with the era.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like, toward the beginning, I was like, "Oh, this is weird." Like, it's
Hmm.
like not really matching, and then like as I kept watching, it's like, well, actually, this does match pretty well. It's just very different from going from real life to transitioning to this, but it
Yeah.
works so well.
Should we get into talking about the characters?
Sure.
Okay.
Nimue?
For Nimue, did you like her? Did you not like her?
I liked her. It was just she was kind of confusing when she was suddenly really good at fighting after she was really bad at fighting. Like,
Mhm.
she first gets the sword. She's having a hard time swinging it around fighting the wolves. The next day, she's like, sword, give me power. And then suddenly she's like a beast at fighting. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe that's because the power is so good, but then after that, like, she still seems so good. Does the power just make you so good at fighting and strong?
Possibly.
Yeah.
For me, I kind of liked her. Like, obviously, she's a strong female role model, but
Yeah.
in my opinion, she's a bad female character
A,
in the
bu-
sense
a
of
buff.
this.
I'm
What?
sorry. I'm sorry.
This is why I kind of liked Pim better. Like 100%, I loved her. Side characters are
Mhm.
always the best, it seems. But for me, Nimue didn't seem flawed.
Yeah.
Like like as you said, like she somehow just becomes perfect with the sword. It's like, yeah, like her flaws are that she gets tired after using magic.
Yeah.
But it's just like, isn't that like how magic kind of works?
Yeah. It's kind of like, how when people are like so pretty and they're like, I'm ugly. It was kind of like that. Like, she's so
Mm,
powerful, and then she's like, I'm so not powerful. It's like,
yeah.
you're powerful. Come on.
Hmm. I feel like, yeah, in her best moments are not when she's fighting. I think when you really, when she really shines as a character is in the final episodes when she's talking strategy and how she'll give herself up for the people. Like, I know that's a
Yeah.
very, like, cliche thing to do, but it's always nice to see because especially since, as you see in the first episode, all these Fae hate her, like because she has dark magic or whatever. And then same with the humans. Humans just hate her in general. So when she decides to kind of give herself up, like it is a weird transition between the Fae really hating her and then the Fae really loving her because it's like, oh, it's the wolf blood witch, she'll save us all, and then everyone's like, praise her name or whatever. Which was
Yeah.
like, I feel like there should have been a little gradual shift to that instead of a snap shift. But
Yeah.
besides that, I really like it because it's like she's being very selfless, which is good. But also, she's stupid, and I don't. Well, not she's stupid, but the last scene, like literally, when Iris just has her bow and arrow, like, girl, use the sword to chop the arrows. Are you
Yeah,
stupid?
that's what I was thinking. Like, she would just easily deflect the arrow, or
Hmm.
she could have even like moved. Like,
Yeah,
it's not like that girl was so good at fighting. She worked
yeah.
in a church.
Yeah, and like she took archery lessons from your 10-year-old brother. It's like she's not
I
gonna be
don't
the
think
best.
I don't think they're siblings.
Are they though? Yeah, like that was a little confusing. Like, what is their relationship?
I think maybe they're just
Cousins?
friends.
Friends? I thought they were related somehow. Maybe not.
I know it felt like they should be related, but I don't know. It feels like Squirrel sort of just attaches himself to people. Like, we're friends now.
Hmm.
So maybe that was the case.
Possibly. Yeah. What were your thoughts though about um like Nimue and the kind of like weird love triangle that she has? Like, did you like it? Did you not like it? Personally, for me, I thought it was like stupid, and it gave no
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it had no need to be there.
I saw this post like yesterday which was about the Hunger Games, and they're like, "Are you team one guy or the other guy?" And they're like, I'm team the girl. Like, you're making this story about love when it's not. Like, it's not about the guys, it's about the girl. Yeah. I think it was pretty stupid and unnecessary.
Yeah. Especially since there was really no like if it was a love triangle, then Gawain got with a child, and that's nasty.
Yeah.
So that's bad.
I don't
Speaking
think
though,
she ever
oh,
had sex before though, because
yeah,
you
but you don't
know,
need to have sex to be in love with someone.
I know, but you said got with a I mean, I guess got with a child is a
You
not
don't need
sex,
to have
but
sex with them to get with a child.
okay. Oh God.
You know what I mean? Like he's dating, like
Yeah,
from what it
yeah,
seemed like he left like 3, 4 years ago or something like that. So she'd be like around 15, 15 or younger. He looked
yeah.
like I don't know, he probably left when he was like 18 or 18, 19, 20. Yeah.
That is true. But then
Speaking,
again, never
oh,
mind. We'll not
yeah.
even.
Speaking, yeah, let's just move on.
Yeah.
Speaking of our love triangle people, what were your thoughts on Arthur? Or other,
Arthur.
I
Um.
think he's considered the other main lead.
Yeah, I think he is. Uh, he wasn't that bad. Um, his little, I want to go and fight and be in this show or whatever. Like, come on, really?
Hmm.
Like, this girl trusted you to stay with her and not steal her sword, and yet you stole her sword.
Yeah.
She said it was
Didn't
important.
didn't really like him after that because
Yeah,
I was
no.
like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Also, I kind of felt that Arthur being, well, like, what should I say? So obviously Arthur is King Arthur. We know
Oh,
that.
obviously. Yeah,
Did you not
obviously.
get that?
I don't know who King Arthur is. I'm sorry.
Do you know who Lancelot is?
Um, the monk.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Arthur. What do I search? King Arthur. I'm gonna give a quick background because some people don't know about King Arthur. Jesus. King Arthur. He was a legendary British leader who, according to medieval historians and romances, led the defense of Britain against Saxon invaders. That's not exactly helpful.
Part of the
King
whole.
Arthur of Camelot, right? Of
Sure,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think so. King Arthur of Camelot, boy. So Camelot is a mythical city or castle city said to be located in Great Britain. So I guess you are right. That takes place in Great Britain, where King Arthur held court. It was the center of kingdom of Logres, and Arthurian legend would become the location of the Round Table. So do you know King Arthur and the Round Table?
Um, no.
Oh my God.
When you said that, all I could think was of the Last Supper.
No, that was a rectangle table.
Oh no, it was.
Okay, and then there's Lancelot, who if I search in Lancelot of Camelot, will that come up with something? Yep. Okay,
Lancelot of
Lancelot.
Camelot.
Yeah. So Lancelot and King Arthur would like work together, I think. In medieval legends about King Arthur of Britain and his knights, Lancelot is the greatest knight of all time. In time, however, Lancelot's love for Guinevere, the king's wife, leads him to betray his king and sets in motion the fatal events that ends Arthur's life. Because this whole thing is a retelling of
That.
the Arthurian legend. Did you not know that? Oh my gosh.
Why would I know that? I don't know. Sorry.
It is. It is.
It is, okay.
Yes. Yeah, okay, even looking at the cast, Lady Arthur is King Arthur.
Wait, so Arthur's gonna be a king?
Yes.
Okay, that's something to look forward to.
Yes. Yes. So if everyone couldn't tell, Merlin, King Arthur, and Lancelot are part of the Arthurian legend with King Arthur and the Round Table and stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with this because you made me lose track. But I was talking about Arthur.
Yeah, you were talking about Arthur.
Yeah. So, okay, he's obviously going to rise to be some noble person. But, so this is part of like my final thoughts thing. It didn't really wrap up storylines. And especially with Arthur's.
It's like last show we watched where like it was too much in a bow. This time it's like
loose ends.
You didn't even close the box.
Yeah. Like in the last episode, I kept tapping. I'm like, okay, you got 35 minutes to finish Nimue's arc,
Yeah.
Pym's arc, Iris's arc, Merlin's arc, Arthur's arc, Gawain's arc, Squirrel's arc, and then time just kept shrinking and shrinking and shrinking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god. They did get the arcs I think were completed were Iris's arc because she killed Nimue, which was her goal.
Good for her. I'm just kidding. I hate her.
Merlin's arc, I would say, was kind of complete. Like, I think his arc was kind of like reinstating himself as a magician.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of got. So his arc was completed. Morgana's arc, she didn't really like have an arc. She wasn't like really a main character because she didn't appear in every episode.
Yeah.
So like maybe she didn't like really have an arc. Like she could have been like her little arc was kind of like turning away from Nimue and then turning back.
Yeah.
So yeah. But like Arthur's arc did not complete like so his arc was about honor and finding honor.
Yeah.
Shooting someone and killing someone to save someone else is not honor. That's kindness. I guess. But like it just felt that his arc of finding honor never was completed. Like the way that I would see his arc of honor being completed was if he went up against the Cumber army, like while everyone was running away, like solely him, and then the Red Spear joined him. I think that would have been a better finding honor quote arc.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Pym had an arc.
Like. Yeah. I don't know.
I think she was more or less just vibing. I liked her. She was my favorite character because she's quirky and like for some reason she the way she kind of looks. For some reason I thought no even now like looking at it, she kind of looks like she might be related. I don't think she is, but she kind of looks like she's related to the actor who plays Cassie on Euphoria. Sydney Sweeney.
Oh.
They look. Did you not get that? I thought they looked similar.
I don't know. I guess I don't, obsess over Euphoria as much as you do.
I don't obsess over that.
I don't know.
How is the obsessing? I just saw her face and I'm like, oh, she kind of looks like her.
Okay.
Everyone's saying I'm obsessing. What are you talking about? I liked Pym's character though, because she's funny.
Yeah.
Especially when she like tried to carry the battle axe and she just failed.
Yeah. Oh gosh. How she just kept like getting drunk when she was the healer. Mm-hmm. She's like, oh gosh. Oh, that was great.
Should we talk about Mr. Uther Pendragon, and he had an arc. I actually kind of liked his arc.
Uther Pendragon?
Yeah.
I don't know much about him, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
A little bit.
They should have possibly explained, because he obviously was very important in the last episode.
Wait, was he the one who was like, I want sword? Church, no, you don't get sword.
No, he was the one who was gonna get Nimue, I think.
Oh.
And then, because they were like, oh, we'll trade you the sword for Nimue, because we want to burn Nimue. And then he was like, nah, yeah, fools, I get Nimue, and if you burn her, that's just gonna set more people off, so we're gonna keep her. Then we'll possibly think about giving her to you. So yeah, I kind of liked his arc of where he kind of was very, like, in a sense, stupid, and then he kind of, like, has all these revelations, like, when he learns that he's actually not the true heir to the Pendragon throne, and then he learns that his mom was killed by his other mom, so he goes to kill her. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. He was obviously written as a pain in the butt type character, which I kind of liked. I think he was kind of funny, so I liked him.
Yeah. I mean, you might have killed somebody in the same way. Wait, he killed her in the same way that she killed his mom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty smart. If he was, gonna kill somebody, he might as well,
So, dialogue. The dialogue of the show is weird in a sense, because I'm not gonna try to bash on the acting, because I think the acting was actually pretty good, but it's just sometimes. Well, number one, they never said the F word, which kind of weird if they're gonna go TBMA.
Yeah,
but
I guess.
Like, it's fine. What I was actually kind of surprised though was they didn't have like their own curse words.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
at
think
least they
would have
didn't
made
make
it
it prominent if they did.
Mm-hmm. Like, I think it could have made it better if there was like a Fae slur.
Oh my god, yeah.
Cause like that would really show the distaste for Fae, because like they're just calling a Fae peasant, a Fae maid. Like, it's like, it's not an insult; it's a statement.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like there should have been like possibly a Fae slur, and also sometimes when the characters talked, it just seemed weird and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I think the biggest culprit was actually Nimue. She was sometimes just say things that, like, in a sense, didn't need to be said, and I'm like, okay.
Sure, Nimue.
Yeah, we get it. Yeah, you gotta take the sword to Merlin.
Yeah.
Another thing. What was really good about the dialogue, though, is they hammered home. Well, okay, two things. The dialogue was very good in explaining some things, but also bad at explaining other things, which I really liked.
Yeah.
They were sometimes very quick and informative, and like, it was good exposition about something that you needed to know. Like, for example, the paladins, like learning that, but then contrary, like learning something else.
Yeah, like you did get a lot of good information on some situations and people, but yeah.
And I feel like they could have made it fly, or yeah, it would have flown easier if they just gave more exposition, because most of it was from character to character. Like, they were explaining it to the character, so they were also explaining to the audience. So if they gave more exposition, it wouldn't feel gratuitous. It would make sense. Like, because most of it was like, not most of it, but like a healthy amount of it was from Nimue to other characters. Nimue and Gawain, like, kind of explaining some things. So I feel like they should have done that more. And Merlin as well, him explaining things. I know some people don't like, but I feel like it should have been a little more exposition-y.
Yeah.
So, since, as you said, the box wasn't even closed at the end of the season, what theories do we have for season 2? Because, well, I don't know if this is going to get season 2, but like, they have so many things that are like open that they must be getting one. Or
they
hopefully.
Must. Yeah, especially because you sent me that Instagram where they're like getting really high ratings.
Yeah. And it's based on a book as well, so like
Yeah.
that's good that they'll have like kind of places to go.
Well, I think that Nimue has to live, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. No.
obviously. Also, speaking of that, I'm sorry that I'm cutting on. It's real quick. The opening for episode 1 was the ending
Yeah.
of episode 10, which I kind of like those.
Yeah.
Always.
It was just like that other movie.
Mm-hmm. Extraction, yeah.
Yeah.
But like in this one, it kind of felt weird that it was like because it seemed like it was flashbacks.
Yeah. It
So
did
like they
feel
should
a
have
bit flashback.
explained a little more on that.
Yeah, I thought it was like showing the person who had the sword before her at the beginning because they were talking about so much lore in that opening scene, and so I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's somebody. That's something. That was the last person. No, that was her. Maybe I should have looked at her closer.
Yeah.
I guess if when Nimue lives, because she's probably gonna live, I'm assuming that Iris is gonna get some shit for that.
Oh, 100%, yeah. Because that's the only reason that she got into the like Golden Army or whatever the heck.
Yeah. Did she? Oh no, I was like, did she bring the sword back too? No, Merlin just disappeared with Morgana. Okay.
Yeah.
Who knows where they went?
I feel a possible theory since you were talking about Morgana. So she kills Widow. Widow is death. Explain.
She kills death.
Like, how does she, like, number one, she kills death, so that was a little weird. But getting past that, what does that mean for her in the future? I feel like that's going to bump her up to a series lead if she's literal death.
Yeah.
I feel like people who are going to get bumped up to series leads in season 2, because, so season 1, series leads, or characters who appeared in every single episode, were Nimue, King Arthur, and the Weeping Monk. Oh, well, and also the Carden, but he gets decapitated. So just the 3 of them. I think. Oh, and Merlin. Merlin's the 4th.
Yeah, I was like thinking,
character.
wasn't there also Merlin?
So,
I don't know. On Wikipedia,
think,
it shows quite a few more, but
yeah, like I was looking at IMDb. It said that Pym and Squirrel were in the 10 episodes. Not true. Pym disappears for episodes 2 and 3. Which, like, I was actually, like, really scared, but then when I saw her in episode 4, I was like, yay! Because just right off the bat, I loved her so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, yeah, season 2, I think Pym and Morgana are going to, and then Gawain are going to be bumped up to series leads. So there's going to be 7 series leads, because those were obviously the main characters of season 1.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So,
I just remembered how Morgana's like girlfriend or whatever like keeps visiting her.
Yeah, that like okay. Speaking of that, that reminded me. The oh my god, what they call the Kalatek?
I'm not sure.
The Callian. That's what it was. The Spider Queen Callian.
Oh right, the spiders too.
Yeah, like
what the hell are those?
What was that?
Like it just ended the episode with a spider crawling through her eye and like no explanation.
Yeah.
And still, they never explained it. They just showed like a dead body with some spiders too, right? Was that a dead body? I don't know. Yeah, definitely Morgana's got to have more role so that there can be a lot of explanation and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to search up the Spider Queen.
Well, while you're doing that, I think that Morgana's
Holy crap.
girlfriend.
Wait, there's lots of imagery for the Spider Queen. She's freaky.
Interesting. Yeah.
She's like got like a spider body and then like torso up is.
Oh no, I have
that's
to
a real
look it
spider.
up.
No, we ain't looking. What's her name though? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what's her name?
I don't know, but I honestly think that the girlfriend might be a different entity, like not actually the girlfriend, but like some lost spirit who's taking on her form, because
100%.
she's just way too like kind of
creepy.
evilish. Yeah.
And very creepy.
Yeah. Maybe like, I mean, maybe it's her, and maybe like her soul is passed on, but not her body, something weird like that. Not like not her body, but not like, I don't know, some parts of her. Oh
Possibly,
gosh.
yeah. Okay, there we go. Now I'm searching through all these characters. Squirrel, King Uther, the Viking Red Spear is Guinevere. Oh wait, okay. So Guinevere, Arthur saves. So the girl who's gonna kill in Cumber, who's gonna kill the girl who's part of the Red Spear. The Red Spear girl is Guinevere, who's like, I owe my life to you now, or whatever. They're going to date, which very happy because I can't deal with the stupidness of the whole love triangle thing. I can't.
Wait, what if this is like something that actually happened? Not to like, believe in magic or anything, but like, what if all the Fae were crusaded? Oh my god.
This is based on Arthurian legend,
Yeah,
so I
this
don't
could
think
have.
so.
No, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's based
I
on
kept
a
thinking
novel
this
of the
could have
same
actually
name by
happened.
Frank Miller and Tom Wheeler.
Yeah.
As you said, with Morgana's girlfriend, Celia, is she really Celia? I thought that in the cave, I thought Celia was gonna turn in to
Oh.
the spider monster and kill Morgana. Because, so
Oh my
Morgana was
god.
introduced in episode 4, so I didn't think that she was really gonna be sticking around.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I guess I was wrong. I think a future possible theory. So we learned that the Weeping Monk, aka Lancelot, is a fae.
Yeah. Yes. Oh. Oh my gosh.
What?
I hated, as probably most people, I hated him at the start, and at the end, I'm like, okay, you might have to be bumped up to my favorite character.
Oh, really?
I know, right?
Tell me why.
Cause like, okay, I get now that I get his story. I get him. Like, yes, he is doing bad things, but now he's actually acting on caring. Um, and how he said before, he's like, oh, I don't like kill kids or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, you got some morality in you, and like, he was just stock, really. Like, he was sort of enslaved by whatever that guy was the head paladin. um, and yeah, he was like just a slave. But now he's getting free and being more of a good guy.
Yeah, like
He's also so cool. Like
I.
like when I
Okay,
actually saw
go.
his
Yeah.
face though, he looks so cool.
For me, I agree with you. Didn't like him. What I was actually really surprised about. So the actor who plays him, Daniel Sharman. The only other thing I had seen him in was Teen Wolf. So
Oh.
personally, I kind of wasn't sure like if he could pull off the role. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm not like trying to knock his ability because he did very well as it. It's just
He did.
I shouldn't say like I didn't think he could pull it off, but it's just like knowing him as the character he was on Teen Wolf, it was kind of hard to see him as the villain,
Yeah.
or I guess one of the villains, or misunderstood hero, or whatever you want to call him.
Misunderstood hero.
Even though he did burn down food for people, so made them starve to death. Also, that thing about killing children, he did kill children though.
Yeah.
Like he kept killing all the kids in the caravan. So your moral code is a lie, sir.
Your moral code is a lie. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just tapping into his moral code.
Maybe.
And like pretending nothing happened. Oh gosh.
Yeah. But so with him at the end, where he's like, "Oh, I'm Lancelot," and I was like, Oh, you're
Yeah.
Lancelot? Okay, cool. Obviously, so he's gonna get a redemption arc if there is a season 2. And I think what could be really interesting, I'm not sure if Lancelot actually has, like, a wife in, like, this Arthurian legend, but it could be interesting to see Nimue possibly date Lancelot. Here's why.
Oh my gosh.
Here's why. Here's why. Let me explain. I don't want her date Gwen because they're the same person. And if you want to tell me that I'm wrong, you're wrong for telling me that I'm wrong. Because they're both like, I'm gonna fight for justice. I have no flaws. I'm amazing.
Yeah. They are
It's
pretty
like they're
similar.
so perfect.
Yeah.
And like I guess yeah, that would be like, oh yeah, that's why they should date because they're exactly like each other. But that's so boring because then they can't foil each other and make each
Yeah.
other better characters. And that's what you want to do with writing. You want to create foil characters. And I
Yeah.
think Lancelot could be a good foil character because he obviously has a very loose moral code. So I don't know what would happen in season 2. I guess
Well,
maybe it'd be fighting possibly the Golden Army. So where Nimue is all about like truth and justice and seeking out everything, Lancelot is like, let's kill first. So I think it could be very interesting if they go from a love
yeah.
to hate relationship, especially because they really haven't interacted. So there's not that much bad blood between them, you know?
Yeah. Plus, like, he's gonna be bringing Squirrel to them, and so she'll
Yeah.
definitely be really grateful about that, and like, see him in a really good light at that point,
Yeah.
which
Which
could be a
hmm
basis
But then
for
Arthur's
this
gonna be like,
relationship
oh my
you're brewing.
god. Yeah. Arthur's gonna be like, oh my god, you're dating him. Why won't you like me?
Oh
That would probably be
no.
more of Gawain because Arthur's going to probably be with uh Guinevere because that is the Arthurian legend that he marries Guinevere. But
Guinevere.
also Lancelot likes Guinevere, so yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't want Gawain and Nimue to be together. And speaking of that, so not really, but back to Widow. The end scene, or not the end scene, but
One of
the
them.
end scene with Carden. Deus
Carden.
Ex Machina. Oh my god, I couldn't. That made the whole series like kind of like I was like, okay, it's a 10 out of 10. And then that happens. I'm like, okay, you just lost one whole star. It is now a
Oh.
9 out of 10 because of a singular scene. Because don't, it's like, okay, she's about to die. I was like, she's gonna get out of this. But the way that they did that with Widow literally being like, boom, I appear and I give you your sword to kill him. I'm like,
Yeah.
mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. No, 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 no.
Wait, but that was Morgana, right?
Yeah, that was her by the time. Which another thing, so she killed Widow off screen.
She did, yes.
Weird.
Really weird.
Should have seen that because they didn't want to explain how you kill death.
Yeah.
But speaking though of Widow, when you see her face for the first time when she pulls off her mask, again, which I was talking about before, makeup incredible. Love that. However,
Yeah.
few things about Widow. I feel like she should have never taken off her hood because I think the not seeing her face is in a sense scarier than
Yeah.
actually seeing her face because her face wasn't like horrifying to look at. It was a skull. But
Yeah,
like
because I
if you
feel
let the
like,
imagination think the worst, that's better.
mhm.
Like that's what they did. I listened to this interview talking about the movie The Invisible Man. They never wanted to show like the Invisible Man to kind of make the audience think the worst of what this could look like, even though it's just an Invisible Man. He says something about like if you want to make something scary, never show it or something like that
Yeah, yeah,
because the
yeah.
audience will think the worst.
I do really agree with that. Especially because, like, once Morgana has it, and she like isn't wearing her hood. She just looks like a child wearing a ton of rags. Like,
She does. Oh
like
my
if you
god.
have the hood on, you're gonna look fine.
Yeah.
Because, but no.
hmm So, would we recommend this show? Before
Oh,
that, is there anything that you really liked or did like about the show that we haven't covered yet?
I really, really, really liked the fawn people.
hmm
They are so cute. If I lived in this world, that'd be my type.
Wonderful.
You're welcome. I know. They're just okay. Their horns are so cool. Did you have a favorite species, Ryan?
My favorite species were, I don't know, I guess the Fae,
Yeah.
because, just because, like, just with all the makeup and stuff
Mhm.
and the
Like the
horns.
flying ones? Oh
Uh,
wait.
just the Fae in general.
Ah yeah.
Yeah, because, yeah, there were, like,
They're a very diverse species.
subsections of the group, but yeah, I just, I just thought the Fae in general were cool. Would you recommend this show? Yes or no?
Uh, I would. I would. I recommended it yesterday, like highly recommended it,
hmm
um, to our lovely DM for Dungeons and Dragons. And
hmm
yeah, I think if you like Dungeons and Dragons or like fantasy worlds, this is such a good show to watch. I mean, I'm not even into that, but now I am into that.
Yeah. Same with me. I would recommend the show. What the show really has, which might be counterintuitive of what I've said before. I don't think I said, it. But
Uh,
the show is bingeable, which is good because Netflix
yeah.
does that where they drop all the episodes at once and you can binge them. I think this is a very good bingeable series because we were talking about exposition and stuff like that. Like it
Mhm.
always does give you something more. Like even if it isn't fully explaining what something is, there's always something new, which is good. Like there is sometimes where there is repetition of like you learn things, especially with the swords. Like it's the devil's tooth, it's the sword of all kings, or whatever, forged in
Yeah.
the fey of or the fire of the fey. Like they say that like a few times, but other than that, you're always learning new information. Obviously, scratching the surface. So that's I think something that they should do in season two. Really like explain more of that. But it's a
Yeah.
very good series where you're always learning something. Something's always happening, which is very interesting to watch. And
Yeah.
I think I want to say any characters really have a quote complex relationship where like it's hate and love,
Yeah.
kinda with Nimue and Arthur, but like they have simple relationships in a sense. But I think it works because this is more of like a plot based show instead of a character, or not a plot based, a plot driven show
Yeah.
where it's like the actions move the story along instead of character decisions, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It does.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with it being very bingeable because like
hmm
I kept thinking like, am I gonna like not have any motivation to keep watching this? But even like when I like told myself, okay, go to bed, I'm like thinking like, I mean, I'm excited to watch it tomorrow.
yeah.
Like,
Same with me. Like, yesterday, or yesterday. So I watched four episodes on
mhm,
Saturday, and then Sunday I had something between 11 to like 4:30, more like
yeah,
10:30 or 4:30, so 5 hours blocked out. And I'll just say I went to a protest,
yeah,
so lots of walking. So I was very tired
yeah,
when I came home, and so I was watching the episode, and I really wanted to like take a nap, but I didn't. I did take the nap though,
good, yeah,
but like when I got up, I took like a 4 hour nap because first off I had only gotten 4 hours of sleep the night before, and then
that's so
um
bad.
it's fine. Yeah, so after that, I binged, I think, up to halfway through the eighth episode. Like, I got up at 10, so from, I think, 10:30 all the way to 12:30, got episodes 5 and 6. But like, yeah, the show is very bingeable because this morning woke up, I watched the last episodes. Very easy. Like for me, sometimes I have to like watch certain shows while doing certain things. But this, I was like, no matter what I was doing, if like I had like a quote reason to watch the show, I would watch the show. So yeah.
Yeah.
Is that everything? Do you have
I
anything
think
else to
it
say?
is.
Well, that was our review of the show Cursed on Netflix. Next week, we will be starting watching the show The Umbrella Academy Season 1, so that we will be ready to watch Umbrella Academy Season 2 when it comes out.
Yes.
This is the A&R Podcast. I'm your co-host, Ryan.
And I'm your other co-host, Addison.
And we will see you next week. Peace.